Alright, everybody. Hello, hello. This is Nuggets. I am one of the developers for the Forsaken fan game, Mistaken. And I have some things I want to say about this game. Yes, my audio quality is going to be absolute buns, but you need to bear with me. So, Mistaken is a game where I'd say it has a lot more smaller details than the much more important, bigger details. So while you may have good animations and you might have work like a working game, it's not balanced. There's some it's just mainly balancing. I'm gonna be so honest. I've talked with the team so many times about the balancing of Mistaken, yet they have yet to been addressed. Well, yeah, it has some cool emotes, and there's some cool things that are part of it. Some of the animations are jank, and some of the maps are severely large. And of course, some of the killers and survivors are severely over and underpowered. Specifically, look at this walk animation. Why are my legs detaching? Why are the legs detaching? This looks it's why are the legs detaching? It looks very weird. And when I stand still, it's like it goes back in place. But with that little bit of, oh yeah, my body is detaching from my legs. Why do they do this? Okay, but let me get on with the point. I will split this. Golly, I gotta turn off my notifications. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to separate this video into different parts, and I'll give every part, and you'll see every part. Let me go to the command panel, and let's check with the maps first. Let's check with the maps. As of now, all the maps are pretty unbalanced. Alright, so let's start with... And look at this. This is a wide selection. Area 51. Right, here's a problem. Here's a problem. Look at how huge these maps are. In the hazards, they make no sense. This is look at this. Long hallways. Like this. They just don't work. The maps are too big. Especially if you have a killer that has an AoE ability. How are they supposed to catch up to survivors? There's lots of loops on this map too, but then there's equally as many dead ends. This is very bad map design. Most of the maps either fall into there's too much verticality, or it's too long, there's too big of maps. And then some like fall under both categories. Some maps are just too big and too vertical. Why do you think this is balanced? And I could run down this hallway with the killer. This is essentially like a decent spot for the killer at least. But nobody's gonna purposefully run into the slowness 2 water. And by the way, on the account of loop spots, I'd say in most ASIM games it's okay to have at least 1 or 2 of them. And then like the killers are able to like break those loops to balance out the playing field. But this game has a maximum of 14 players per round. So it could get really jarring when you're trying to find not only 14 players, but if there's like 5 of them clunked together, I guarantee you most of them will be sentinels. There's actually, like, when I say all the maps fall under this horrible category, I mean all of them. I will showcase all of them on screen, so you'll probably hear it, like, post-production. So I'm just gonna go through every map and show you what's wrong with each one. Alrighty, so as you can see, like, most of these maps are too big. Most of these maps have unnecessary dead ends. Most of these maps have too much running space. Most of these maps are unbalanced for both survivors and killers. More survivor-sided, more killer-sided. But all around, all these maps are severely unbalanced. The thing is, this is a Forsaken fan game, but if it was truly a Forsaken fan game, I'd say we would have to re-improve the maps to actually match how Forsaken balances their maps as well. Because if you ask me, Forsaken maps, they're pretty balanced. They're pretty balanced. It's more so the killers that aren't. But some killers are more map dependent than others, and I think that's what you also have to compensate for. Maybe someday in the future we'll get certain buffs for certain killers based off of what maps they're on, but who knows? Maybe that's just in a better, brighter future, you know. But enough about the maps now, because I don't want to go through all of them. There's a lot of them, but you really get the point. There are, of course, it's not that they're near perfect maps, it's that you can get the concept, but they're just not good maps at all, especially not to play on in an ASIM game. So now, I feel like it's time for us to get into, well, actually, no. I'm gonna end the video here. We're only gonna discuss maps. Next time, join me and my friend as we go through all the killers. Yes, and when I say all the killers, I mean every single one of these killers. Is this game just a bunch of killer slop? I believe so. Yeah, it kinda is. And survivor slop? Oh, yes, of course. And I don't know, man, this seems kind of familiar if you ask me. I don't know, maybe we should start adding some originality to our game. Or maybe we should re-release the game altogether so we can make it better in the future. But hey, I know they won't do that, so the least they can do is make the game better. But I would say, give the game a try, make reviews on the games, so we can actually get these issues addressed. Because as of now, I've been trying to tell the dev team about the problems for a while actually. But I'm just a music composer. But you guys are the community. And as a community, we can fix this game together. So please, from me, a composer, who's a small little dev on this team with, for some reason, 3 owners, please help me make this game better. And that's basically all I gotta say. Join me next time where we go through all the killers. What makes them underpowered, what makes them overpowered, and even so, what makes them perfect, or what little additions we can add that make them the best killers they can be. In a game where you are basically in a there's no power creep. It's more so, I'd say the player count versus the survivor count is pretty balanced. You have 14 players versus 1 killer. Maybe in the future, if there's better stacking nerfs or better nerfs in general or buffs to certain survivors and to certain killers, we can make this game maybe, possibly, even better than Forsaken. Who knows? It's just a small fan game, but we can transcend it. We can transcend Forsaken. We can be better. We can be much, much better. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys if you listened to this whole video. I'm gonna try to cut it down as short as possible. Hopefully this is about 15 minutes worth of information about the maps. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Till next time, Nuggets crew. Also, join the Bacon Battle community server, which the link should be on my YouTube profile. See ya later.